Right, everybody, as I get the appropriate graphic up, make it visible. There it is. It's time to talk of the actual start of our prediction season, or the predictions game, I should call it, as we wrap through anything and everything that is Critics' Choice, because of course they have to try and think they're New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom and have a show on January the 4th. To try and be ahead of everybody. Uh, which is going to be weird because we're gonna when we get to the end of the season, thanks to the Olympics, we're going to have that weird lull where there's nothing. So it's like everything's crammed into sort of like 6 weeks, and then we sort of get 3 weeks of nothing, and then all of a sudden it's the Oscars, which is brilliant. Anyway, it's myself, AJ, and Owen. Going through all these categories, and of course, critics have added additional categories just to try and be, look, we're the Oscars.
Because if
So,
there's one show that needed more categories, it was certainly Critics' Choice definitely
yeah,
needed
one
more.
show that needed more graphics have also awarded tonight because we don't have time at the ceremony.
You're going to get 8 awards presented, and the rest will be in video packages through commercial breaks.
And keep this in mind, too. Not only are we looking at this many categories, only for them to air like 15 of them or whatever,
Right?
they also have two separate fucking events. They've got the Super Awards thing, and they've got their own documentary thing that they've already done.
Right.
Um, Critics' Choice, you are out of control, and you,
We need to have an intervention for Critics' Choice. You're one step away at this point from being nominating 10 for everything. And I feel that's the next course of action. Weirdly enough, this is the year that would have made sense.
yeah,
And we still get plenty of snubs.
they just want as many people at their party as they can get. They want to see who shows up to their party, essentially.
Who wants to
But
hang out in an airplane hangar in Santa Monica?
but to be fair, like you said, this is a year where it's like there's so many worthy things per
Nope.
category that every category is overflowing with possibilities. So okay, I guess for this year it's fine.
So we'll be discussing both the movie and the television categories. Obviously, I'm going to blow through televisions. I don't care because if you haven't joined us before, I'm Owen. I don't watch television. So, and I'm also against streaming. So, needless to say, the only reason I'm using Disney Plus right now is because the end of an era. Other than that, I have nothing to do with it. If you also knew, you know that I watch movies that are nominated theatrically, and that's the reason why it takes me until the very absolute last minute sometimes, even the final chance on Oscar Sunday to watch some things because it's the only chance I have because they were lucky enough to grace me with 2 screenings that are on the weirdest possible times that I kind of have to take off work for and plan and travel for. But that's how award season is when you're not into streaming. And apparently, the deal now is that we're very much moving towards a year where we could get a streaming movie winning Best Picture, and it's already happened. So it's going to probably continue. Not this year, but it will happen in the future. Just like AI, the terrorists win. So,
I mean, considering how one of the local chains that near me that sort of was the only is the only cinema now for the area because the other one closed 5 years ago, which just so happened to be beneficial because it probably would have gone because of COVID and whatever.
right.
Their chief exec just stepped down because they've issued a profits warning of at least 20% lower than what they were predicting.
Right.
And admittedly, they're one of the sort of high end sort of art house. I guess the equivalent would be Alamo Draft House sort of thing. You know, in that it's sofas and sort of fancier food. I don't know. It's
Yeah, Sinopolis would be the closest thing around here, honestly. But yeah, Alamo Draft House is a good example.
yeah.
Even though that makes me sad every time I think about it, because before the world shut down, we were getting an Alamo Draft House in Orlando, and once everything reopened, they're like, "Nah, we ain't doing that."
And instead, it's just the multiplexes which seem to have got less care than the other ones would. So it's sort of
AMC
eventually it
doesn't
will
want to
get
play
to a
ball.
point. I mean, you know, if it's weird because we'll obviously get to it because it's coming up in a few of the categories in the TV section. But it's weird how I think everywhere else, maybe Bridget Jones was a streaming movie. Yet in the UK, it got a cinema release back in February and was actually one of the big successes for the industry this year.
It didn't do jack for business here, but I do recall it being here for a week.
Oh, so yeah, okay.
100% it
All
did.
I
I don't know
remember
how
is
far
they were
wide it
shoving it on
went. I
Peacock
mean,
day and
it
date
was
sort of thing.
here.
Yeah.
It came to Orlando for a week, and I didn't watch the other one, so I just like, nah, I'm not gonna waste my time.
Yemi said, which I feel like I only partially remember, and or we can just wing it and just say whatever. I think are me and Owen taking the same approach here, where I haven't really made any decisions about any of this yet. This is all going to be right here, right now, as far as.
I literally am pulling the Bruce Almighty right now. I have the keyboard in front of me, and I'm about ready to start typing.
So yeah, hopefully we don't get stuck on anything. That happens occasionally, but I don't know. I feel like another reason I'm comfortable not doing things ahead of time here is because I feel like I guess there's races here and there, but there's stuff that's in front enough right now that I'm probably comfortable in just going with what looks like that right now.
Sure.
Then again, Critics' Choice is an interesting place because they developed a reputation a while back for literally just being, oh, we think this is what the other shows are going to do, so that's what we're going to do because we're one of them, we hope. But they've thrown some curveballs from time to time, especially lately. So maybe we're underestimating a surprise factor here a little bit.
I mean, at this point, I say this every season, and I'm going to be a broken record just like I am every season, but it's all about visibility. It doesn't necessarily matter what something wins, but if something does get enough victories, then other people will decide to choose it when they may not have decided to go to that course before. It can definitely sway things for sure. We say the Globes don't matter every single year, but every single year something proves that wrong. Everything technically matters in the grand scheme of everything, just not necessarily at the right time.
What's also interesting about this non-industry stuff, like Critics' Choice and the Globes, where it's not industry people voting, the fact that the industry does show up for these,
Yeah.
and how we've talked about if you give like a really great speech at Critics' Choice or the Globes, that might help a lot.
I mean, you're literally talking about two voting bodies that have less than 1,000 people each. Way less than 1,000 people each. It's low hundreds when it comes to both Critics' Choice and the Golden Globes.
Critics' Choice has more, I think. Globes was always the sort of more.
Overall, I believe.
Originally, I think it was like 80, but I think it's sort of gone to maybe like 150 now because of the diversity and everything changes. But it's nowhere near as many as any academies would have or the guilds would have.
I had a list of them like earlier. It came across my field of vision on X one day, and I should have saved it, but I didn't think to. I'm pretty positive that either body is not more than 300 people.
Yeah.
And that's being very generous. So what 250 marks say doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it can mean everything because it could start something that could continue the entire season, or it could be something that is a one-off and never comes back.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know until Sunday what's going to be the case. Let's go.
All right. I assume we're all looking at the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
I'm at the very bottom here at Variety Series,
we are in the same page, good sir.
which is a category so worth having. There's only 3 things here. We've got Conan O'Brien Must Go, John Oliver, and Saturday Night Live. I feel like when John Oliver's in a category, it's pretty safe to just go with him.
Sure.
I know that Conan has a lot of love and a pretty big fan base,
Oh, yeah.
particularly industry-wise. Not that matters here because it's critic choice, but and SNL is SNL, I guess.
It's coming off
So
its 50th anniversary year as well, so
Yeah, we literally just took down all the promotion for it in our store at the Tonight Shop.
And this past Ariana Grande episode was pretty acclaimed.
That was great. I love that episode.
But I'm gonna play it safe and just go with John Oliver. So
yeah, I'll stick with the same. There were some bits of, as much as the sort of 50th anniversary itself was pretty good, which will be reflected probably in a few awards time when we get round to it. I feel there were some episodes where it wasn't as good as you thought it might have been, like the potential that it had.
the Josh O'Connor episode, for instance.
Yeah, sort of very sort of weird moves for some of the things as well. The yeah, I don't think Nate nailed as much as I did, and now having seen the trailer for whatever that movie is that's coming out next year, dear God, his career might be over already. And sort of thing. We'll get to him. Yeah, I'm sticking with Oliver as well because I think there's no tracking on this, but I feel like John Oliver's been consistent at least with Emmys and Critics' Choice in that he's at least been nominated like practically every year that the series has been going. So
I feel SNL is getting kind of like a very small rebirth, slightly. Obviously, Marcelo Hernandez struck gold this season, and this Domingo character has been really heavy to the point that I feel like if this was the 90s, we'd have a Domingo movie. I almost guarantee we would have Penelope Spheris SNL Domingo movie, which I would totally welcome.
I say it's when you, especially when you say if this were the 90s, it's weird how easily I can picture that.
Yeah, totally. Domingo would be a character that would be kind of like a Night at the Roxbury.
Mm-hmm.
John Oliver is always a safe bet when it comes to this category. But dude, I don't care at this point. It's the Critics' Choice. It's the first award, literally the first award of the season. I go with my heart. I go with my head sometimes. I've been to 30 Rock and I've seen SNL. And obviously, I haven't been anywhere near John Oliver, but I'll go with the man that I met face to face. I'm going to go with Conan O'Brien Must Go.
All right. Speaking of things you've seen in person, comedy special.
Yes.
We've got Brett Goldstein, Caleb Heron, Leanne Morgan, Mark Maron, Sarah Silverman, and the SNL 50th anniversary.
Which was fantastic, by the way.
So I feel a little out of touch because I don't know who 2 of these people are.
I'll shoot with you. Other than, well, yeah, I don't know who 3 of these people are.
Hang on, we
Thank
need
you.
clarification.
I assume you don't know Brett Goldstein right away. Is who you're
Nope.
calling out
No.
from Ted Lasso?
Yeah, predominantly from
Yeah.
Ted Lasso.
Don't watch.
He's been in things. Well, obviously one of these sticks out
Yes.
because it's not a stand-up special, and I could see that doing it. I really liked Marin's special. My mind kept going to Sarah Silverman.
It's a really good. I mean, I saw it live, and it's really good bits, honestly.
Yeah, of the things I actually saw here, just to clarify, I saw Marin, Silverman's, and the SNL 50. I did not see the other 3.
I literally saw Sarah Silverman live do the exact post-mortem show.
And I don't want to zero in on those. I do think Brett Goldstein probably could take it also. I think I've got it narrowed down to Silverman and SNL, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, stuck already in the second fucking category. This is
Bodes well for timing tonight.
great sign.
Now he's not nominated.
Actually, since it's the odd one out, maybe I'll go SNL. But the thing about it is Silverman's is so personal.
Oh yeah, it is.
That kind of strikes a chord. Okay, maybe I'll say. Is it too late to back out? Did I say SNL too officially?
Nope.
You're good. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to say Silverman. That's what I'm gonna do.
Ashley.
It's gonna be neither. It's definitely gonna be neither now.
This hasn't changed just because of what AJ did. I was gonna say SNL just because but if it only for one like 10-second introduction of a musical guest, it brought Jack Nicholson out of retirement.
Yeah. And Ashley probably won't get this point, or none of us will, because I'm also going with the show that I saw live. Sarah Silverman, Postmortem.
All right, and apparently the SNL 50 made Chevy Chase sad, which is apparently a win for a lot of people in the industry. So
Yes.
I want
Especially
say
if you go to
conventions. It's good to see HBO sort of in here because I think for last year's list it was pretty much just Netflix bar one HBO Max. I want to say.
So I don't know. I guess it's weird. I mean, this is the time. This is the year that I started going to the comedy club, the former Orlando Improv, now called the Funny Bone, that I've been to many times, and I don't have any idea who these people are. I luckily know who Mark Maron is, actually, because of Penn Jillette and Sarah Silverman, the tie-ins there too. But I mean, I don't know who these other 3 people are. These aren't things I've ever heard of.
I feel like usually when there's a stand-up comic I haven't really heard of, my research tells me that they're like a pretty prolific writer. So maybe it's that is who they are. Are we going to talk show?
Can do, yeah.
Let's get it out of the way.
Well, this is interesting because we have The Daily Show, Hot Ones, Kimmel, Seth Meyers, Colbert, and Watch What Happens Live.
I totally consider Hot Ones a talk show.
So here's the crazy thing. The Daily Show is literally here. And you can say, well, for political reasons, I'm thinking Kimmel or Colbert.
Right.
When The Daily Show is literally here, we're at a time now where the political ones on this list are Kimmel and Colbert.
Very true.
I'd almost say Critics' Choice would just go with something like Hot Ones.
Possibly.
But if they wanna feel like they're making a statement, they'll say Kimmel or Colbert.
Okay, what do you got?
Well, I think Kimmel, obviously Colbert's thing is ongoing. Kimmel's thing's really still in the spotlight right now.
Sure.
Like really Kimmel's the one that's like really like making himself known in this ongoing thing. So say I would say Kimmel
Okay.
if they want to make a point or attempt to make a point. um but like I said, I could also just see them going with like Hot Ones or something harmless like Hot Ones. Something harmless where the guests are in pain the whole time.
Well, it did lose out
But
last year to John Mulaney's Everybody's in LA,
Yeah, Hot
which
Ones
got,
burned me
I think,
last year.
immediately cancelled because I don't think they've commissioned it again.
Yeah. Hot Ones burned me last season. I remember it vaguely. I went for it and I was like, it's gonna go for Hot Ones. Nope, I was wrong.
Okay, so the spin-off is Everybody's Live with John Mulaney that was back in March apparently. So the fact that they've soured on that much, that it went from winning to not even being nominated for its like first full season rather than part of the Netflix as a joke comedy festival thing.
which is a shame because it's a really Mulaney's show is really fun.
To me, the keynote is this is where I'm trying to work out if the critics are trying to do what's happened many a time when we have a show that's been nominated and nominated and nominated and never won. In what potentially, depending on legal situations and contracts and whatever, might be the last time you have a chance to. So for that reason, I'm going Colbert.
And I'm also going with Jimmy Kimmel Live.
All right, let's take a wild stab in the dark here. Foreign language series.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Acapulco, Last Samurai Standing, Mussolini, Son of the Century, Red Alert, Squid Game, When No One Sees Us. Oh, I feel like is anybody even into Squid Game anymore?
Yes.
I've never heard of any of these shows, but I don't watch TV, so it doesn't matter what I think.
I only
Well,
know the Mussolini thing because I think Joe Wright did it,
yeah.
but that's all. That's the only thing I know about it.
Acapulco is basically a spin-off of How to Be a Latin Lover from 5-6 years ago.
Nope.
That's random.
Well, I think that's what was it? Wasn't that like a Eugenio Derbez sort of basically whole entire thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
You already rang the bell with Shogun running roughshod last season, so I don't think Last Samurai Standing is going to win.
I was looking at that or When No One Sees Us, and I base this on not much of anything. um, I I yeah, I've got it down to those two, I think. So just based on nothing, I'll say. Well, yeah, and you're in my head now because I was thinking for a second, like, well, everybody loves a samurai thing. um, yeah, I'll just say Last Samurai Standing.
Okay. Ashley?
Considering what just happened with Stranger Things, I feel that to some extent the same effect probably happened with Squid Game, although not to the effect that it turned it from fresh on Rotten Tomatoes with the public to rotten. Um, Weirdly, I think I'm gonna go with Acapulco. I was on Squid Game, but part of me feels, while there were some people that weren't as happy with the ending as what could have been, story-wise, some of the stuff in that makes more sense than from what I've heard has happened in the penultimate episode slash feature film of Stranger Things. That's all I kind of saw December 26th. People had watched that episode on Christmas Day and were like, some were even going as far as cancelling their movie theatre tickets for the finale. It pissed them off that much. It was the Game of Thrones effect. It was the case of you've seen the table read for the scenes, and it's just like it was Game of Thrones. I think some of the cast were like, "Oh God, what are the Duffer Brothers doing?" So there's going to be a lot of heavy lifting to try and recover that in a few days for the New Year's Day. I think is it New Year's? It's either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, one of the two. Release.
Eve.
Thank you, Eve.
I think it's getting shown New Year's Day in theaters, but either way, yeah, I'll go with Acapulco because I just feel that Eugenio kind of has a lot of love towards him from a lot of the critic stuff.
No clue. I'm not even going to act like I know what is going on with any of these shows. And we'll see what happens with Stranger Things next year. If you know, you know. I was gonna get Squid Game. Move on.
Animated series.
This is actually difficult.
We have Bob's Burgers, Harley Quinn, Long Story Short, Marvel Zombies, South Park, and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I don't quite know what Long Story Short is, but much like the talk show category, the question is do they want to say something with what they pick? Because obviously one of these would you say one of these has current cultural significance over the other?
Well, I'd also say that there's other ones that have been nominated way too many times without winning, and that might be a reason to finally give them a victory. One of which is one you're referring to.
So, to keep from getting too hung up on this one, because I really don't know, I'm going to say South Park.
Ashley?
Yeah, the fact that the current season is not even a season anymore because they literally just went, okay, we're now cutting the season. So instead of like a 10 episode season like it was supposed to be or whatever, it's now been 2 episodes of 5 because it's taken them that long. And I feel it's had enough of the zeitgeistiness to sort of poke the bear enough. But it is, long story short, obviously has the, just quickly looking into it, it's from the guy that did BoJack Horseman, as I'll always call it. And Harley Quinn was strong, but yeah, I'm gonna stick with South Park just because, just like with The Simpsons, I feel like South Park this time has sort of punched way above its weight. I feel there was a lot of the time in sort of those most recent seasons where it sort of just was there, and it's as if Donald and everything circulating around the whole Paramount, mergers and deals and whatever, suddenly made Trey and Matt sort of like really sort of pay attention and try and go at sort of everything in the industry. But yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, long story short, it's interesting because you've got the pedigree of BoJack being the one that's won the most in the category. It's won 5 times. So you've got Harley Quinn, which 4. Then you have Bob's Burgers, which has gone 0 for 12. I say the Disney Plus ones cancel each other out. So it's down to, do you give it to the topical one, or do you give it to something that has already been down so many times that it's time to finally award it? Well, the funny thing is, South Park is not won in 5 years. So it also runs that narrative, and it's topical. And I feel they're going to go that route. And yeah, I also concur. It's South Park.
All this talking from us for an award they're going to give out in 2 seconds.
Probably.
Less than that. Let's just get this TV stuff out of the way, please.
Shall we do the
Well,
acting stuff before the main categories, or?
yeah, unless we'll go like miniseries and TV movie section as
Yeah.
a whole, comedy section, drama, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So unless they want to throw some curveballs, I feel like this is one of those sections that should be pretty one-sided. So let's see how quickly we can do the miniseries / TV movie section. So for supporting actress in a limited series or TV movie, we have Erin Doty for Adolescence, Betty Gilpin for Death by Lightning, Marin Ireland for Devil in Disguise, Sophia Lillis for All Her Fault, Julianne Moore for Sirens, and Christine Tremarco for Adolescence. I'm gonna go Erin Doherty. Not just because she's already won the Emmy and stuff like that, but because I have seen the show, and that's probably what should happen.
I just went with Betty Gilpin because I'm throwing darts. At least on this, because I feel Adolescence is kind of proving to be just as toxic masculinity as the kid.
Is this something I don't know about?
Well, the the kid, the kid in the whole thing, and the actions that the kid does is very much, I don't want to say it's influenced by somebody that rhymes with Flandreau mate, but
You know what Ricochet looks like?
yes.
There you go. I started to go with Julianne Moore here, and I almost did. And then I think about it, and I was like, well, sometimes it's not necessarily the name that gets recognized; it's the film or the television property. In this case, the TV show. Again, sight unseen with all of this. Betty Gilpin was an option because of the connection to Glow, which I still haven't watched, which I need to. I could go with the opposite girl from Adolescence, Christine Tremarco. But yeah, I feel that one of the things I have heard about Adolescence is Erin Doherty, and I'm just going to go with it.
Well, she kind of has one episode dedicated to her, so. Then again, that's kind of the nature of that series. Each of the 4 episodes is pretty much from a character's perspective, so she does have one.
In case you're curious, the other nominees for the Owen Cooper Award are Wagner Moore for Dope Thief, Nick Offerman for Death by Lightning, Michael Pena for All Her Fault, Ashley Walters for Adolescence, and Rama Youssef for Mountainhead. It's a good set of nominees, but I would be very surprised if this is not Owen Cooper, so yep.
Yeah, the fact that there's no, at least when we get to sort of the Globes and sort of the other stuff, well, admittedly more in the movie category when you've got a young actor, it's the role that put Owen on the map, so you sort of have to go with him and just hope the industry takes better care of him than some young actors when they've been in stuff before.
Before I looked at what it was for, I immediately went Wagner Moura. Then I actually looked to see what the TV show that was nominated. And then I was like, oh, Adolescence is here. Okay, that makes sense. Hey, there's someone with my name. Let's go.
Oh, I didn't realize that. The next thing we'll be seeing Owen in is as young Jacob Elordi in Fennell's Wuthering Heights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might be okay.
I don't remember. I don't think he's in the trailer. He might be in the longer new one, but I don't think he's in the first one.
This one I'm actually not sure about.
I got two kind of options here, and maybe one that's kind of the other one. So I guess we'll see if what I change my mind on.
Yeah, for actress, we have Jessica Biel for The Better Sister, Megan Faye for Sirens, Sarah Snook for All Her Fault, Michelle Williams for Dying for Sex, Robin Wright for The Girlfriend, and Renee Zellweger for Bridget Jones. When it first came out, I would have basically assumed that Michelle Williams was going to win every single possible type of award for this. I remember that she lost the Emmy, but I can't remember to who.
Because I think we all went for her and we all lost the point.
Well, we don't cover the Emmys, so.
Not talking about the Emmys. It was on another award show. I remember this being nominated for something within the last few years.
I think you're mistaken, sir.
No.
But I would say people really love Sarah Snook in general.
Yes.
Oh, right,
I wouldn't be surprised if it's her. Actually, literally right here in the moment, I kind of want to lean her actually, because I don't think is Zellweger's the only movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what The Girlfriend is. Okay. Yeah. I've seen The Better Sister and Sirens and like half of Dying for Sex. And I've seen Bridget Jones. But I'm blind on Snook, so I don't really know what to do. But and it's fairly like new, right? Like didn't it like just air recently? November 6th. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go Sarah Snook, I think. But Michelle Williams would have been my gut instinct like at any other time.
Yeah, just looking back, at least on the Emmys, Michelle probably rightfully lost to Christine Milotti for Penguin.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, because of course, you know, the Emmy sort of is, you know, where it crosses over, it sort of like overlaps. So that's why you've got some here that wouldn't have been in the Emmys and some that would, and everything. Just because I heard enough about it that it's something that I just want to put in and, you know, go down with the ship. I'm gonna say Robin Wright for The Girlfriend, especially because Prime Video I don't think has had a really good series in a while. But yeah, I can see Snook, or in a weird twist, Zellweger getting that, because I kind of didn't expect the Bridget Jones movie to be actually as good as it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Zellweger here.
Okay. And Stephen Graham's minimal competition is Michael Charles for Devil in Disguise, Brian Tyree Henry for Dope Thief, Charlie Hunnam for Monster, Matthew Reese for The Beast in Me, and Michael Shannon for Death by Lightning. I'm not saying. I mean, Charlie Hunnam's probably just happy to be here, but everybody else, you know, is it. I feel like at another time would be possible, but I just find it really hard to imagine Stephen Graham losing to anybody.
Yeah, I feel he does. He and sort of Owen really do a lot of the heavy lifting for that thing. And let's be honest, Stephen Graham is an expert on a one take. High
Yeah.
boiling point. I'm just intrigued though as where they go with the second season, because some things I've heard is like possibly they follow up on what happened, um, and then with others it's maybe sort of following another story, just under the general theme of adolescence. So, but as it stands, as we can take it, yeah, Graham for me.
Again, it's just like you've got John Wayne Gacy and Ed Gein, and in another world, that would be something that would be contending for a win. But this isn't a world that adolescence exists. So, yes, I concur. Stephen Graham.
Best TV movie. We've got Bridget Jones, Deep Cover, The Gorge, Mountainhead, Nona's, and Summer of '69. I have seen and reviewed all of these except for Summer of '69. I was leaning. Well, two of them got acting nominations with Bridget Jones and Mountainhead. I was initially gonna lean Mountainhead, but I also think it was a little divisive. People seem to really like the Gorge. I kind of did. I did until they were in the Gorge, and then I kind of didn't. Something that sticks out here is Nona's because I stand by not just my own reaction to it, but the kind of movie it is and the other reactions I've seen to it. What I was kind of saying before was if Nona's had been released in theaters in like the early 2000s, it probably would have been a massive hit.
It would have been Greek Wedding.
Yeah.
100%.
And and
Yes.
there's just so much emotional resonance in that movie that it's one that I feel like would stick if you were trying to choose it between it and these others here. Bridget Jones has good emotional value also if you're like invested in those characters. Which I am, but I was going to say Mountainhead, but I think I'm gonna say Nona's actually.
Yeah, compared to some years where I'm like, they've literally just put that in as a make up the numbers. There's nothing there that I don't think is actually atrocious. I will stick with Bridget Jones, partly because of British skew, but partly because, as I say, I went into that with little to no expectations, and the fact that maybe it's just because Hugh Grant. God damn it, that man. With that whole sort of angle of him basically becoming the sort of father esque figure because of, Darcy dying. Which I don't think was spoilers considering they literally give it away in the fucking trailers. And it was the big
I didn't
talking point for the book as well when it was originally released like 10 years ago.
I didn't know until I started the movie and I got blindsided by it.
Oh, okay.
I mean it's right there at the very beginning, but still I was like, what the
It's
fuck?
annoying that they sort of give it away in the trailer though. That would have been a very nice bit for people
I was
to
like,
not be aware of, like like AJ was.
well, it might be better when people know because I was pissed for a little while.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably better for the people that were able to brace
Yeah,
themselves that that's
even
what.
though Hugh's not in it that much, like you actually feel for his story arc, which I wasn't thinking so, considering in the other films where you see him, and that he's not dead but not dead, thanks to the third film, thanks to that bloody newspaper right at the very end. I just realised Bridget Jones's baby is exactly like Paddington in Peru. The film is rescued by a Hugh Grant cameo at the very end.
I gotta be honest with you. I think it's my favorite one.
Ooh.
That's not a popular opinion.
I don't need to give my answer because it's a given. Given it was the meme on here however many years back. Literally every time they show it on TV or it comes up on the listings, it's always Paddington 2, motherfucker. Anyway, Owen, yeah, your pick.
Well, I thought originally, and if this wins, I'm gonna feel even worse because this is the first thing I gravitated towards was Summer of '69. I heard great things about it. I wanted to see it. Never came with theater. You know what you can do with your hat, Hulu. Um, Giving Vince Vaughn some love would be nice. We'll see if that goes that way. The Gorge was very divisive, and I'd like to have been able to see it, but again, sight unseen. I just went very safe and went with Bridget Jones.
Although I also just realised as well, all 6 nominees are from 6 different services. Which I doubt we'll be getting on the Oscars.
I hate to break up our long tradition here, but I do not think we're doing well on time. So I'm just saying that limited series is adolescence.
We're never doing well on time, sir.
I mean, to be fair, we also have All Her Fault, Chief of War, Death by Lightning, Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy, Dope Thief, Dying for Sex and the Girlfriend. But yeah, I'd have thought it's adolescence.
Adolescence. Move on.
All right, the comedy categories.
We're almost done.
All right. For supporting actress, we have Danielle Brooks for Peacemaker, Hannah Einbinder for Hacks, Janelle James for Abbott Elementary, Justine Liu for Nobody Wants This, Ego Odom for Saturday Night Live, and Rebecca Wysocki for Ghosts. I could almost see them going Ego since she's gone now. But the easy choice is Hannah Einbinder, obviously.
Okay.
Janelle James, I think, is always an option. And I really like Justine Liu on Nobody Wants This. I'm only familiar with the UK Ghosts, but I'm just going to make this easy and just go with Hannah Einbinder because she's the easy choice.
Ashley.
Yeah, I went with her as well. I'm still trying to work out how Peacemaker's a comedy.
It tries to be. It doesn't really succeed, but it tries to be funny.
I mean, yeah, 'cause it's sort of that vague thing, like the fact that the Satellite Awards considered One Battle After Another drama, but the Globes consider it comedy musical. I feel that's where sort of Peacemaker sort of falls on both sides. Because on that logic, Cena should be in here for comedy series in some shape or form, because what he has to portray in that, and some of the stuff that he does in terms of the hard rigging, yet the only recognition I think it's even got is here. I don't think it's even been... Yeah. It's in there for comedy actress, or supporting comedy actress, but it didn't make it in series. But yeah, Hannah for me.
Hey, maybe if he wouldn't have given up so easily, that may have happened. Yeah, obviously. Hannah Einbinder.
All right, this one's a little trickier. For supporting actor, we've got Ike Barinholtz for The Studio, Paul W. Downs for Hacks, Asher Goldman for Ghosts, Oscar Nunez for The Paper, Chris Perfetti for Abbott Elementary, and Timothy Simons for Nobody Wants This. Timothy Simons is great on Nobody Wants This. I'd love to see Chris Perfetti because I think I'm leaning that Jacob's my favorite Abbott character. I think over these last couple of seasons. I don't get Paul W. Downs, like, as an actor and a writer. I just don't get him, but that's okay. I really feel like The Studio is a safe bet for anything, and obviously, obviously Ike Barinholtz is phenomenal on the show. So, um, yeah, I feel like Barinholtz is kind of the safe bet because it's the studio. So I'm just gonna say him.
Ashley.
Was that Ike for you, AJ?
Yes.
Just because I want it to get some recognition, in that I feel just like, okay, it's not The Office, but the paper was successful despite the British version. Ghost standalone is probably just as good, if not on par with the British one. It hasn't been sort of changed or anything like that. And just because I'd like to give it some recognition, and okay, I've been burned by this before, even though there isn't a British version of What We Do in the Shadows, but that always feels like it is. I'm just gonna say Asher Grobman for Ghost and be wrong.
Being someone who grew up with Mad TV, it's so weird to say Ike Barinholtz's name as pertaining to win awards, but I've never had a problem with him. So yeah, sure, let's go. Let's go to the Gene Hacks Award. I mean, Gene Smart. I mean, Smart Hacks Award. I mean,
We've got Kristen Bell for Nobody Wants This, Natasha Lyonne for Poker Face, Rose McIver for Ghost, Edie Patterson for The Righteous Gemstones, Carrie Preston for Elsbeth, and Gene Smart for Hacks. Um, Natasha Lyonne's interesting because Poker Face is over, but maybe not over. It's in a weird place apparently.
okay.
Um, and obviously she's great there. I'd always pick Kristen Bell if I could. Carrie Preston kind of jumped out at me. I feel like Elsbeth's one of those shows that CBS tries to make you think is more of a thing than it is. Am I wrong?
That sounds logical. It's the good
Um,
one. That's what it's supposed to be based on.
yeah, it's like a third spinoff or something.
It is.
But yeah, the safe choice is Gene's. I could almost maybe see them throwing Kristen Bell something, but once
Well,
again, the safe bet and to keep things moving is Gene Smart. So that's just what I'm gonna do.
Ashley.
She's won every other time she's been nominated. So yeah, I'm going with Gene Smart as well.
The Gene Smart Award goes to Gene Smart.
And actor, we've got Adam Brody for Nobody Wants This, Ted Danson for A Man on the Inside, David Allen Greer for St. Dennis Medical, Danny McBride for The Righteous Gemstones, Seth Rogen for The Studio, and Alexander Skarsgård for Murderbot. I couldn't get into Murderbot, but I honestly would not be surprised if they threw Skarsgård a curveball, because the people that love that show really love it. But again, and I'd be on board with Brody or Danson, but again, the safe bet and would probably be my personal choice also is Seth Rogen. So I'll say that.
Yeah, I don't want to say Rogan like resurrected his career, but the way he portrays the exec there, just with everything, and like how crazy that thing goes. It to some extent as well. It's kind of weird that it feels like it's an Armando Iannucci project when it's nothing to do with it. It's like the one that he actually did. That what was it called last year? Oh, it was
You
something
talking about that
similar
other
named
show?
with Nikish Patel and whatever from yesterday. I can't think of what it is, but it feels like with the content of that one, that felt more like the Rogan and Goldberg satire than the studio feels more like something like the thick of it and everything. So, yeah, I hope Seth gets some recognition, if not here in the main category. Spoilers, probably.
I don't know. I got a feeling Seth Rogen's gonna win this.
Are we ending comedy?
Almost done with tea. Let's go.
Abbott Elementary, Elsbeth, Ghosts, Hacks, Nobody Wants This, Only Murders in the Building, hello. The Pitches Gemstones, and the studio. There's always a possibility Hacks can come in, but I feel like it's kind of the studio's really having its thing right now, so I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, as I sort of hinted to, if Rogan doesn't get actor, given that he's creator, I'm pretty sure he's probably one of the exec producers or whatever for it. So he'll be accepting one of the two awards, I'd have thought.
The studio.
All right, and the 5 drama categories, and we're done with TV.
Thank God. Let's get this over with.
Supporting actress, we have Nicole Bahari for The Morning Show, Danae Benton for The Gilded Age, Allison Janney for The Diplomat, Catherine Onasa for The Pit, Greta Lee for The Morning Show, and Sky P. Marshall for Matlock. I think, much like I've done with the studio and adolescence, I'm gonna go the easy route I was going, where if it's here, that's probably just what I'm gonna go with. And right now, that is The Pit. So Catherine North sounds right to me.
Same here as well.
Is this a new show that's important now?
The Pit?
I don't have
Yeah.
any idea about any of this.
Yeah.
You have to understand
I'm
that.
Okay.
surprised you were. If you were watching AEW, they've been promoting the hell out of it on it. I think.
Well, also, what's it?
Not on my feed.
Okay,
All right.
I'll simplify. I'll simplify it. Yes, the Pit's pretty important.
From what I'm seeing on here, just looking at little notes here and there, it looks like it's this generation's ER.
It's ER by way
Grey's
of
Anatomy.
It's ER by way of 24.
Catherine Lanasa. Almost
I mean,
went Greta Lee
considering
here,
it's from a
but
guy that wrote and produced for both JAG and ER, and was showrunner of NCISLA, it fits.
watch any of these things.
Okay, so I'm not gonna quite stick to what I just said, so we'll keep that in mind.
No.
For supporting actor, we've got Patrick Ball for The Pit, Billy Crudup for The Morning Show, Otto Asando for The Diplomat, Wood Harris for Forever, Tom Pelphrey for Task, and Tremel Tillman for Severance. I didn't end up watching Task, but it seems like Tom Pelphrey really kind of took off with it in a good way. I feel like Billy Crudup's always here to do something, but the love for Tremel Tillman is, I feel like, I still haven't even watched Severance, but I still am always hearing of how amazing Tremel Tillman is, so I feel like that says something, so I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah. The guy that's so good he actually gets a name credit in Mission Impossible. Tremel Tillman.
Yeah, it's hard to go against Severance here. I'm not going to.
All right, and for actress, we've got Kathy Bates for Matlock, Carrie Coon for The Gilded Age, Britt Lauer for Severance, Bella Ramsey for The Last of Us, Carrie Russell for The Diplomat, and Ray Seahorn for Pluribus. Prior to Pluribus's release, I would have said Britt Lauer, probably without even thinking about it. But I'm going to go with Ray Seahorn now.
Ashley.
Yeah. I mean, it probably helps that the last episode was literally days ago. So it's fresh in people's memory. And it's probably to make up for what she didn't get on Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
So, unlike thinking on the fly, this is one that I actually had down. And this is the one that I felt that was the right answer before anybody said anything tonight. So yeah, I concur.
Something I didn't realise either for that, because we'll obviously bring it up for the main category. Even though Vince created it, he only did the first 2 episodes. Everything else was written and directed by not him. shows you how much confidence he has in the franchise that he. Because usually those things, you see them come back at least for like the finale, because they intend to know how it's wrapped up. But this time, I guess not. So, the hell.
And actor.
Mm-hmm.
We got Sterling K. Brown for Paradise, Diego Luna for Andor, Mark Ruffalo for Task, Adam Scott for Severance, Billy Bob Thornton for Landman, and Noah Wyle for The Pit. If Noah Wyle wasn't here, I'd really be questioning between Adam Scott and Ruffalo. But Noah Wyle is here, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with him.
I'm going the Kevin Costner route here, i.e., the Taylor Sheridan related thing. So Billy Bob Thornton for Landman.
Okay.
I've seen that rolling stock way too many times. It has been drilled into my cerebellum for the remainder of my life. I also am going Landman.
Oh, really?
That was another one that I made pre-decision for before knowing about Noah Wyle ringing the ER bell 2 times.
And our last TV category.
Thank God. Let's get it over with. Go!
Hey, Alien Earth, where the fuck did you come from?
Why are you here? You guys remember when FX used to actually be live shows from an apartment in New York? I remember. Thatchat.com. If you know, you know.
We got Alien Earth, Andor, The Diplomat, Paradise, The Pit, Pluribus, Severance, and Task. There's actually 3 options.
Yes.
It could be The Pit, it could be Pluribus, it could be Severance.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and stick with The Pit, but Pluribus would really not surprise me at all, and Severance would not surprise me.
Ashley?
Yeah, I'm I don't think it's going to follow the Emmys, so I'm not going with The Pit personally. But now I'm trying to work out where they're going to go, because Pluribus obviously has the major advantage of being way more recent. And Severance, but at the same time, Severance, I feel, if it did get the recognition it did, it's probably best to do it now, just in case the 3rd season all goes tits up. So, which we'll probably not get until 2027 anyway, so... Yeah, I was originally saying Pluribus, but I'm now going to go with Severance.
I was hoping we'd split the vote on this, but this was another one that I pre-selected. I'm going with Severance.
Yeah. As I say,
All right.
you know, Pluribus, I think, will have the advantage of maybe a 2nd season next year, depending how long Vince wants to cook on it.
Are we ready for movies?
Yes,
Probably.
please.
Do it. All right. We're gonna start with international, I guess, or foreign language, as we have here.
Yes.
All right. I'm not sure how we're saying this movie from Argentina. I'm afraid saying it the way I think it looks is gonna make it sound like I'm saying Bell End, but Belen, I guess. It was just an accident. Left-handed girl, no other choice. The secret agent and Surratt. Are we sure we're saying Surratt right? That's how I keep hearing it, but I'm not entirely sure.
I saw the trailer the other day, and I cannot tell you what it sounds like. It is not mentioned in the trailer.
Well, unfortunately, I bite my thumb at one of these movies. But I don't think it's in contention, so we're good. I feel like it was just an accident, no other choice, the secret agent, or Surratt.
Yeah,
Um, I'm going. I feel like once again, I feel like the safe choice is it was just an accident. So I think that's what I'm gonna go with. But no other choice. And the Secret Agent and Surratt would not surprise me, honestly. Especially since I think Surratt got in quite a few, or at least a couple of tech categories.
It did
Um,
really well in precursors. I've noticed it a lot throughout before we've gotten to televised award shows.
I will say Secret Agent.
All right. And again, it was something I pre-selected, and it was the one that made the most sense to me. And it's the only one on this list I've actually seen. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Secret Agent as well.
okay. Best comedy.
I love this category, and then there's friendship.
We've got the Ballad of Wallace Island, Eternity, Friendship, The Naked Gun, The Phoenician Scheme, and Splitsville. I looked at this list before, and I'm not sure why. I don't think it has anything against this particular movie. It's just looking at the rest. The first one I ruled out was Eternity, and then I feel like it could be any of the rest.
Eternity's good, by the way, though. If you haven't had a chance, you haven't had a chance to see it yet, but Eternity's really good. I liked it a lot.
It seems like it would be,
It's
and I do want to see it.
yes, I recommend it
Um,
for sure.
of these, Wallace Island has the most like emotional resonance. And
Wallace Island's the only one on this list that could potentially make my top 10 of the year.
it has a lot of emotional resonance and is very funny. It's like a perfect combination.
It's really good. I'm very happy I got to see it.
The Naked Gun is like the flat out no other genre but comedy here.
Yeah, for sure.
um I'm my immediate instinct was to go with the Phoenician Scheme, but I could really see them going like the Naked Gun.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them going Splitsville,
Splitsville's also really good too. Really
and
good, actually.
I could see them going Wallace Island, and I can see them going Friendship. It's really because obviously Owen knows, regardless of his thoughts, that Friendship is a pretty beloved movie.
I know. It's like I'm gonna
um,
have to watch all the movies that I like lose to that movie at Critics' Choice on Sunday. I don't want that to be a thing.
the other movies are also so the way they are. I feel like that the Phoenician seems kind of colder than them, and that's kind of what's pulling me away from it.
Yeah, I'd say that would be a logical statement.
But I mean, the Phoenician Scheme could be considered cold. It's also funny as hell,
Oh
though.
yeah, for sure.
So, oh man, I'm probably just gonna. Oh my god, damn it! You know what? I'm gonna go with Friendship.
The only wrong answer on that list, but it's the one I feel it's the most likely they'll go with. Ashley.
Yeah, this is not as.
This is one of the best categories of the entire season right now. And I'll keep saying that each time.
I'll be wrong, but just because of the charm of what the movie is. Good old Tim Key. Ballad of Wallace Island.
Oh, hell yes. I want to go with my heart here. You know, AJ brought up a good point, and it was one of my original thought processes. Naked Gun is probably the most purely comedic movie in this list, and it's a blast. Um, I don't know. Critics' Choice. is really weird. I want to go Wallace Island as well. But something's telling me to go Splitsville. Splitsville's great. Dakota Johnson, no matter what anybody says, had a fantastic 2025. She's in two of my favorite movies of the year. They're not going to make my top list, of course, but I've enjoyed her in both movies. And she's better in Splitsville than she is in Materialist overall, weirdly enough. I love the Phoenician scheme. It's hard to go against Wes Anderson, but it seems like everybody slowly but surely is doing that. I don't like that. Naked Gun was just a blast, way more than I thought it could possibly be. I really dug Eternity a lot, and Wallace Island is one of the best movies of the year. And you got Friendship. Right now, I want to go with my heart and go with Wallace Island, but people, I saw what you guys have done, voters, for the last few years, that making me miserable with the movies that I absolutely hate, winning things left and right. Not nearly as much as what happened last year, but that being said, I feel that we live in a world where the best and funniest movies of the year are going to lose to Friendship. And I hate saying that, but I really feel like it's going to happen. But Ashley, I really want you to get the point.
Something I want to say now, and I'm not like going as far as to like put it as a Stonewall prediction, but given it's the only time we'll get a chance to talk about it, I hope. What's her name? Mia Freppleton, Kate Winslet's kid, gets on the recognition on Rising Star for her performance in Phoenician Scheme, because her character has a lot of stuff to carry in that with her role, and I feel she did a very good job.
I don't see it being out of the realm of possibility. I feel like it's almost a foregone conclusion at this point. Speaking of a category I do not absolutely care at all about.
For our animated, we've got Argo, Elio, In Your Dreams, K-Pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie, The Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. I just watched In Your Dreams in the last couple of days. It's fine. I like the concept. Their faces are so goddamn weird. Like, everybody gets on the Polar Express's case for the crazy faces and the nightmare faces. I've watched the Polar Express many times. In Your Dreams, I was well, quite frankly, I was afraid of seeing in my dreams. So
it looks like Wish. That's not a good thing at all.
I think the characters in Wish looked better than the characters in Your Dreams. But then again,
that's frightening.
Well, then again, Wish is also a movie I vaguely remember. So, honestly, Little Amelie could do this. And Zootopia could, but I think, again, the safest bet is probably K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Yep.
Zootopia feels pretty safe also, if somebody were to say it. But I think I'm going to say K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Ashley.
But Little Amelie could be like a sleeper there.
So what were you saying, AJ?
My choice is K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Okay. Just because I won't get a chance to at BAFTA, I'm also saying K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Literally no reason to go with anything else.
It's just a shame, per the agreement that Sony and Netflix had, like 4 or 5 years ago, that it was destined to be a Netflix only release. But they clearly knew whatever they had was special enough so that they did the June release, at least in America, to qualify for the Oscars run. BAFTA basically went, even for the sing-along versions, they were like, no. Which is crazy because of how many places did have that but never show Netflix. even though technically it is a Sony production. But yeah, I'm just it's just good to see another. It's good to see Sony get some recognition in a time when it's literally just it's Illumination or it's Pixar in most of the other years.
And I will state that it's not necessarily a great movie, but Elio is very much overhated.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad film.
Yes, it's fine.
I don't think it's as strong as Zootopia 2 and like
I, I, I got things about Zootopia too. One obvious elephant in the room,
Elio
and I
does
just
feel like it's a Walt Disney animation though rather than a Pixar. That might be the only thing.
yeah, but I couldn't get into it. One big obvious reason, but other than that, like the dialogue, the comedy, I just couldn't get into it. I tried, it just didn't work for me. This is an interesting category.
Oh, did you say? Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, stunts. Is that where we are?
Yes.
We got Ballerina, F1, Mission Impossible, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Warfare. The thing about it is, it seems like this category is made for movies like Ballerina.
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like the Mission Impossible movies have been at the forefront of this we need a stunt category thing.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Tom Cruise in general.
So I'm inclined to say Mission Impossible, but whenever you've got a new category, it's always kind of interesting to see where it might actually go. But like Ballerina would not surprise me. But
And it's
I feel like,
deserved.
yeah, but I feel like, and the fact that they're really driving an F1 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm inclined to say Mission Impossible. So that's yeah, that's the vibe.
Ashley.
It's certainly between those three.
Mm.
I will say F1 on this one, just because I Ballerina was okay, and the stunt work was good, but it still didn't feel at the same level that you might have got from John Wick in previous, iterations. The thing
Sure.
that the advantage Ballerina does have though is it's got like a whole sort of like half dozen listed names of stunt coordinators. Whereas weirdly for Mission Impossible it's literally just one. Which when you think about it, that can't be correct.
F1 was my original choice. Um, but as I thought about it more, it was like, again, what Tom Cruise has done for stunt actors, Glenn Powell as well with Fall Guy. And it just feels like you give credit to who deserves it. And I feel that there are definitely worthy winners here, but we have to pick one. And I do feel like it's going to be Mission Impossible as well.
I can't tell if you said Glenn Powell instead of Ryan Gosling, or if you meant another movie besides The Fall Guy.
I met another movie besides The Fall Guy.
The Running Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan Gosling, The Fall Guy, Glenn Powell, and The Running Man. Like, there's been a lot of really great stunts, and there's a reason why that there should be stunt categories, and that's the reason why stuff like this exists. You have to understand, I've been literally on one knee for the last week, and yesterday was the first time I've taken a shoot shower in a week because it's been basically living in the bathtub. So, yes, I'm a little bit frazzled. So, that may have been why I made that misstep there.
Well, don't
And
worry.
I'm also freaking starving right now, too. So,
Which one did you go with again, then, Owen?
I'm going to Mission Impossible.
Don't worry, because this next one's pretty easy. Unless they're gonna pull some like Ex Machina thing here and go with a more low key one over the obvious one, but uh, yeah, for visual effects we've got Avatar, as well as F1, Frankenstein, Mission Impossible, Sinners, and Superman. All are nice entries here, but like I said, unless they're gonna completely try to go off the map here, this is an easy Avatar win, right?
Yeah, fire and ass.
I'm not going to see it until it slides into the 10th slot on Best Picture. So, sight unseen, I love the visual effects in F1. I love the visual effects in Mission Impossible. Looks like I may be more up close and personal with the visual effects of Sinners soon. If you know, you know. And most people don't. I hate Superman, so no. But it looks nice. Um, and I'm not the biggest mark for Frankenstein on this planet, but the critics seem to like it a whole lot. And that was an original thought process I had was, oh, they're just going to go with Frankenstein. No, fire and ass.
This one's difficult.
Extremely.
Okay, for sound we've got F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Surratt, and Warfare.
I have to find sound. I lost it somewhere.
Racing movies do very well in this category. War movies do very well in this category. Plus, we've got Frankenstein and Sinners too. Sinners music movies tend to do well here.
Right.
Um, I I actually want to say Sinners. Like that's my gut feeling, but then I keep jumping to F1, Frankenstein, and Warfare. And Surratt if they're feeling inspired, I guess.
Possible.
Um, maybe though. This is am I wrong or is this F1's like biggest shot at getting something?
It is. It's a contender for stunt design.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say that's probably a correct statement.
But think about how many different kinds of sound are happening all at once in several scenes in Sinners. Because Warfare goes in two directions. Warfare feels like something that's like part of it's like, oh, it's totally a contender, but another part is like, or is it the movie that's just happy to be here at all?
Some might say that Surratt is the movie that's just happy to be here, but it may be more of a contender than we think it is.
So I think Surratt might be the sleeper choice, actually.
I think I don't know. Weirdly enough, the one that jumps out at me like right away when I first saw everything, I didn't like the movie, but the sound I definitely give it to was Warfare.
So basically, One Battle After Another is the only one we've ruled out.
Which is weird, but yes.
Be the only time we say that. um, I really feel like I should be saying Sinners, but I think I'm gonna go F1 and regret it later.
Ashley.
I'm gonna go with F1 as well. But I'm split
Same.
between that and Sinners and Warfare, so
Totally can see Warfare taking this. But F1.
All right, makeup. Got 28 years later, Frankenstein, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, Weapons, and Wicked. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. My personal opinions obviously don't matter. I'm really not crazy about Elordi's look.
How he looks like a crash test dummy.
Yeah, he looks like a fucking engineer from the Alien series. But
Space jockey.
Same thing.
but I don't. But I imagine it's down to Wicked and Frankenstein. Wicked just for the fucking Tin Man alone
Yeah.
should run away with it. Honestly. um. Yeah, I'm just gonna say Wicked, but I think Frankenstein. It's between it and Frankenstein. But there's other really nice options here too. A couple of my favorite movies of the year are here actually, with Weapons and 28 Years Later.
Two words. Zombie penis. 28 years later.
We are going to split this category. I wasn't thinking we would. I'm going to right the wrong of the Academy and go with Weapons.
Oh.
But I'd love to see the Smashing Machine win this because I'd love to see it win something.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I could debate this for a while, but I'm gonna make it quick.
Where's next?
Song is next.
No. Why is this order messed up? I hate this. Yeah, I totally lost that category. Okay.
We've got
Okay, I see where it is. We're good.
Clothed by the Sun from The Testament of Ann Lee, Drive from F1, The Girl in the Bowl from Wicked, Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters, I Lied to You from Sinners, and Train Dreams from Train Dreams. Everybody seems to be on this golden thing. That's all well and good. I'm gonna say I Lied to You.
Ashley.
And if you've seen our previous videos, I've explained this.
Because it's critics, I think it might actually go to Sinners. It's where we get to the untrustworthy actors. I think Golden will get momentum. That's going
You mean the
to
ones that have
sound
been
so weird, but
You mean the ones that have been absolutely driven crazy by car rides with the Soulja Boys playing like over and over and over and over again. So that's the reason why Golden's been drilled in their head, and now they have to vote for it because it's like muscle memory.
maybe.
Yeah, it's the critics. It's easy. It's Sinners.
Speaking of, score.
Oh, this is tough.
We've got F1. We've got F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. A lot of good options here, though. Worth noting, the most emotionally impactful moment in Hamnet is a reused Richter piece, and not an original.
Oh,
That's fair.
So
get it out. Get it out.
It's not even in my consideration right now.
yeah, honestly, just my immediate instinct here is Sinners. But honestly, wouldn't be too surprised by anything else.
I'm going with One Battle After Another on this one. Because I'm a Johnny Greenwood apologist.
I am very happy and very fortunate to say I've heard all of these scores in Dolby Digital Sound. The best absolute way I could possibly have heard them. And I love F1. And Frankenstein is there, as is Hamnet. Sinners is phenomenal. One Battle After Another is the best movie of the year. But your Marty Supreme's score is phenomenal. I love how it fits everything that you're seeing on the screen. And I'll shoot. I don't care. Everyone knows how how not big of a deal this is for me. I wasn't anticipating what I saw and what music they chose for the credit roll to impact me like it did. So yeah, Marty Supreme. But everybody, I don't like Frankenstein very much. It's fine. I'm not the biggest mark for Hamlet. It's fine. And any of these 6 are worthy of score. 100%. There is not a wrong answer here at all.
Okay, production design.
Okay, let's go back up to the list here because somehow I ended up in a different order. Way different order. Okay, next.
We got Fantastic Four, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Sinners, and Wicked. I'm about to. I don't know about you guys. I'm about to sound like a broken record here, saying it's between Frankenstein and Wicked. Again.
Okay.
My instinct is Wicked, but how many people might say, well, we've kind of been there and done that with Wicked? And of course, I had my own opinion that the Frankenstein sets just look like every other Del Toro set, just all in one.
Crimson Peak.
I guess, I mean, Sinners is always an option. Wherever Sinners is, it's an option.
Especially in the Critics Awards.
Yeah. I suppose Hamnet's not out of the realm of possibility either.
Oh.
Like, Hamnet's sets feel pretty minimal, but it also very much feels like it's in the time that it's set, which is impressive.
Certainly.
Here. I'll say Frankenstein.
I'll say Sinners.
I also will say Sinners.
Costume design. We've got Frankenstein, Hamnet, Hedda, Kiss of the Spider Woman, Sinners, and Wicked. I kind of feel like I'm back where I was. Frankenstein and Wicked. So what's the deal with the Sinners thing and the costumes from the Blade movie that didn't happen? Do we know if those were like altered, presumably, or
Well, I'm trying
They
to
were
work.
purchased
If the
and
Blade movie
repurposed.
if the Blade movie never actually got released and never actually went into production, I think you can repurpose the outfit.
Yeah, because I guess my next question is did she design the Blade costumes? Or if we even know that.
To some extent, we'll probably never know, because that never. I think because they never shot anything that would have been sort of in pre-production might not be sort of made public. So we'll probably never know.
No, I can confirm that. Carter was working on the Blade movie that got scrapped. It's on deadline. I can confirm that.
Okay, so no matter what, they are her costumes.
Yes, they are her costumes. They were just planned to be something else before they were.
I guess I'm just going to go with Wicked here. It's a kind of a almost kind of a boring choice, but that's what I'm gonna go with.
Which one again?
Wicked.
See, weirdly, I'm going Hamlet on this one.
That makes sense.
Just because I feel there might be people going, there aren't that too many costumes in Wicked for Good that are too different to what we already had in the first one. Obviously, there's some that have changes and whatever and tweaks and everything, but I feel like a lot of the costuming seems very similar. And then, of course, it's the sort of, if they were filmed together, are you all, are you basically just giving the same award twice? Which is awkward. Whereas Hamlet has the freshness, and I feel costume design hasn't gone to a historical piece in a while. Even though it's all based on rumour and innuendo. Just about the fact that, it's loosely based about Shakespeare and whatever. In which case, Shakespeare loved it pretty well.
Yeah, Wicked's gonna double up. It won last year. It's gonna win this year too.
All right, editing. We got F1, A House of Dynamite, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Perfect Neighbor, and Sinners. Love that The Perfect Neighbor's here. House of Dynamite's a really strong choice. I have it. Well, shit. I have it down to 3, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Sinners, of course. One Battle After Another, of course. Um, I have not seen Marty Supreme, but I have heard that it is much more in like it might as well be a Safdie brothers movie. Like if you didn't know it was just Josh, you would assume it was right in line with Uncut Gems and Good Time and all them.
Absolutely.
So just knowing what a Safdie brothers movie looks like, I have Marty Supreme in my contention here.
As it should be.
um, One Battle After Another has a lot going for it. The pacing of that entire middle section, and on top of the action scene that we end on, is enough for it to take this.
Yeah, for sure.
But Sinners and Marty Supreme are like really strong competition for it. But if like they go, but that's the thing is, yeah, One But After Another's been taking a lot. Like it's more or less been sweeping, but there's been a lot of Sinners love too. To the point that it kind of does feel like this night could go one way or the other. Like everybody's under the assumption One Battle After Another has ended the race already. But if honestly, if Critics' Choice went all in on Sinners, I would not be surprised at all.
No.
So it almost is like, what kind of night is it gonna be? Is where editing lies, which kind of used to be a thing for a while there. You would almost think that middle section of One Battle After Another makes it like an unbeatable choice here. um, I'm actually maybe I'm gonna shoot blind. I'm gonna say Marty Supreme.
It's not a wrong choice.
I'll say One Battle After Another. I am. To me, it's between that Sinners and F1 of what I've seen, because obviously Marty Supreme doesn't release over here until New Year's Day. So
Yeah, I'm also gonna go one battle after another, but I like AJ's idea of Marty Supreme winning editing because it definitely deserves it. It's very slick, very well done, and I could definitely see them going the route of again. I think at this point, remember we were saying at the beginning before the precursor started, it was one battle after another versus Sinners versus Hamnet, and now it seems like it's one battle after another versus Sinners. And hi, Marty Supreme, everybody loves you. So then we'll see how things really go and which direction. But yeah, you can't go wrong with either choice, and you can't go wrong with Sinners either for editing. I like Ashley's idea of F1. Honestly, that's fantastic. I'd love that to be a thing because I really dig F1 a lot, and honestly, I feel like F1 has a trajectory to be like it won't be now. I feel like it's not that direction at all. But F1 could have been the movie that slid into picture with getting just a bunch of tech nominations. I don't think it's going to, but it could have because it was a very big crowd pleaser when it came out.
And I was talking, I was really putting emphasis on that middle portion of one battle after another. But that's also not to take out of the equation. I was talking about the climax, where it's like not only do we have everything coming together all at once, but after everything has kind of come together in a really big way, we don't just get a chase scene. We get a chase happening, and then the chase is being chased
Yep.
by DiCaprio. So yeah, but again, since I'm blind on Marty Supreme right now, I'm kind of shooting in the dark and seeing what happens.
so which one you say, Owen?
I'm going one battle after another.
Okay.
Here's a strong category. For cinematography, we've got F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Train Dreams is another one where it's like some people might see it as it's the one that's happy to be here. In a perfect world, it's in contention to get it.
Sure.
But Frankenstein wouldn't surprise me, and Sinners is what I'm leaning towards. And One Battle After Another is one that's interesting, especially in talking about the two sequences I was just talking about. Where when a lot of people think of cinematography, they tend to think of particular images, and One Battle After Another is very much about camera movement. So taking that into account, but I'm probably gonna go the safe route and say Sinners.
I'm trying to. It's annoying for me to consider it cinematography, considering I watch it all the time. So to me, it just doesn't look like cinematography. It just looks like that's what happens on the weekend. Because I want to say F1, but at the same time, I don't think like as much as it good as it is for the cinematography that they do with like the racing stuff. There's nothing special about the cinematography of the not racing stuff. I don't know whether that's enough of an edge to sort of put it in here. Um, just because of the look that it has, and it really, okay, the subject matter is very similar, but it very much felt like the black version of From Dusk Till Dawn, I'm going with Sinners as well.
That's the understatement of the decade, Ashley. The answer is Sinners.
What's happening?
Go.
Did you say something?
We're at the 10.
Yeah, go. 10.
Well, as usual, we are skipping the screenplays for now
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
to do some casting stuff.
sure.
For casting and ensemble, we've got Hamnet, Jay Kelly, Marty Supreme, One Bad After Another, Sinners, and Wicked. So it's basically the Spirit Awards' Altman Award without the director.
Pretty much.
I think it's down to our. I'm just gonna say it's down to our two big ones. Well, actually, no, I'm not. Marty Supreme is here. um, Marty Supreme is definitely an option, I think, just based on what I know for now. One Battle After Another also has Chase Infinity on the casting front. I am going to say One Battle After Another.
I'm saying Sinners because I feel I cannot I cannot go with Marty Supreme because one of the fucking people from Shark Tank somehow is fourth credited on that film.
He earns that credit, trust me.
Oh, he's better
He's
at acting than he is at business.
fantastic.
Okay.
He is absolutely. Kevin O'Leary is fantastic in Marty Supreme. I'll defend that one for sure. I just watched it Friday. Dude, Penn Jillette's in the movie. That's all I need. Marty Supreme.
Also, the fact that bloody you've got the guy that brought us, all those classic things, David Mamet, all those things, and then the guy from Driller Killer in the same film. Like, that is casting of some sort, but like, all I'm trying to say is Nina Gold is not winning it this year, despite the fact that she's probably the one that most people would think of as like the big casting person, at least in the UK.
I just love the idea of Abel Ferrara being just the guy from Driller.
That's what stands out for me. Only because it was banned over here, because it was like too shocking. It's like you don't see that much. It's just the concept. Right? Then again, we banned Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I think that was more violent than Driller Killer.
I kind of hate Abel Ferrara in Marty Supreme, but I'm designed to because I hate him kind of like how much I hated Trace Atkins in The Apprentice.
Are we on to young actor or actress?
Well, it's nice that we split the vote there, so I like that. Young actor and actress, yes.
Everett Blunt for The Plague, Miles Caden for Sinners, Kerry Christopher for Weapons, Shannon Mena Gorman for Rental Family, Jacoby Jube for Hamnet, and Nina Ye for Left-Handed Girl. I feel like it should be between three, but I'm sure it's between two. The people really seem to love The Plague.
I get a chance to watch it Friday actually, so yeah, I'm gonna take that opportunity.
So we're looking at Miles Caden or Jacoby Jube, right?
There's someone else that should. There's people that should be in this, and they're not.
In another year, Kerry Christopher would be a big contender here.
Shannon Gorman, I will go to bat for Rental Family, but I think I'm one of the only ones that will.
So yeah, it seems like just pretty runaway it should be Miles Caton. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
Which one did you go with, Owen, on the last one? Sorry.
Where was it? Casting was Marty Supreme.
Okay. And then AJ for you on Young.
Miles Caton.
Uh, oh, I'm split between him and Carey for weapons, but I think I'll go with Miles as well.
Miles.
All right, this honestly should get pretty easy from here on. Well, at least
Possible.
these next two. So
Yeah.
for Adapted, we've got One Battle After Another, Train Dreams, No Other Choice, Frankenstein, Begonia, and Hamnet. Is anybody not saying One Battle After Another?
No.
No, there's no reason to go against PTA. This is his year, and it's about damn time.
And Original,
Hmm.
we've got Jay Kelly, Marty Supreme, Sinners, Weapons, Sorry Baby, and Sentimental Value. You know, I'm gonna say Sinners, and I kind of want to treat Sinners the way we just treated One Battle After Another, saying like, is there any other option? But
I have a good option.
yeah, now that Marty Supreme is out there and we know how people feel about it, I'm assuming we would not be surprised if it started kneecapping some of its competition suddenly.
I'd love that. The dialogue in Marty Supreme is phenomenal.
See, I'm gonna say Sinners, but I am wondering if Marty Supreme is gonna be kind of working its way in now in certain places.
I'm sure it will actually.
Which I feel would be an interesting move considering some of the discourse I've seen regarding Marty Supreme online. In that, yeah, some people don't get the hype for it.
So
I, I've heard that.
you said the words online and discourse, and I just immediately tuned out.
Yeah, that's the problem because
Ariana.com.
I feel this could be a case where the critics go wonders for it, and then if it does get the recognition at the Oscars, the general public will not give a shit, which is not what some of the awards bodies will want. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. To me, it's a 3-horse race between those two that we mentioned and Weapons.
Yep, for sure. Kreger's in this.
I'm going with Sinners because taking something that's an original IP that makes that much money at the box office probably deserves recognition in itself. I mean, you know, it got enough Okay, it didn't win screenplay or anything, but to me, and it's ironic because it's Warner Brothers, this is Coogler's Inception. This is the one that's sort of showing the industry I don't have to do licensed stuff. I can do original IP too. Which is unfair because obviously Coogler's done, you know, I'm trying to think. He hasn't just done the licensed stuff, right? Because, yeah, Fruitvale Station is how he started. But the fact that practically everything since, you know, the first Creed film and then obviously involved producers-wise with the others, and then both Black Panthers, to me, this is, I guess to some extent, Fruitvale Station was his following / Memento, and Sinners is an Inception. So it'll be interesting to see how many other original ideas Coogler's going to get the chance to run with now, rather than just give him this licensed property. and that's where I think, in terms of writing a script, it deserves to be acknowledged.
Okay, supporting actress.
Yes.
We got a couple of things going on here.
Mm-hmm.
We got Elle Fanning for sentimental value, Ariana Grande for Wicked.
Inga Lilias.
Yes, I was actually stuck on her last name. For sentimental value, Amy Madigan for Weapons, Women Misaki for Sinners, and Teyana Taylor for One Battle After Another. Um, so if you look at what's happened critic-wise, you'd have it down to two. It's a lot of Amy Madigan and quite a bit of Teyana Taylor happening. Of course, if I think something's too good to be true and it's something I really want, I try to move away from it. So I want to take wishful thinking completely out of the equation, which would take Amy Madigan out of the equation for me, because I would want that quite badly. So I'd honestly feel okay saying Teyana Taylor for this. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Amy Madigan's the one that I want, and I know that she's very much a possibility, but to kind of go the middle ground there, I'm going to say Teyana Taylor.
I think the critics might edge it to Madigan, personally. But yeah, I feel it's between them two, with a slim chance of Ariana possibly getting it.
So you're going with Madigan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel
People
like
really, people really seem to want to think the Grande thing would happen. I would honestly say here at this particular ceremony, Woman Musaku or Inga would happen first before Grande.
I wanted to go with Madigan here, but I I have a better idea for Madigan's trajectory starting this season. I don't think it starts yet. I think it's starting, but I don't think it starts here. Tiana Taylor.
Okay.
This one's
Supporting
actually hard.
We've got Benicio del Toro for One Bad After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Paul Mescal for Hamnet, Sean Penn for One Bad After Another, Adam Sandler for Jay Kelly, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. So Del Toro's like been all but sweeping
Right.
with the occasional Penn or the occasional Skarsgård thrown in from what we've seen critic wise up to this point.
Mm.
Um, I still find it interesting that this particular performance, much as I love it myself, would do this well. And I think a lot of that just has to do with the limited nature of it. That he's not really in it that much. And yeah, that you would think if somebody was running away with one man after another that it would be Penn. But like I said, I'm not mad at what's going on. But I've been also thinking that Skarsgård is quite the sleeper choice for where this category could end up when it's all said and done.
It's not a wrong answer. It's a great performance.
Yeah, but Del Toro's like really got a momentum thing going on right now,
Mm.
which makes me think like I can't really right now justify going with anybody else unless I talk myself into Skarsgård. But with the momentum he's at right now, I'm gonna go ahead and say Del Toro. But I feel like this category could change up at some point and go in somebody's direction, whether that be Skarsgård or Penn or whoever. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, for sentimental value, but not that one. Uh, just because, at least in terms of Oscars, which I know this isn't it, but the fact that it's been like 20 years since his last nomination, I feel that this is the sort of make good that the industry might be trying to do for Del Toro. Because it's a shame he didn't get recognised for Sicario by the major bodies. Or the sequel, to be fair. And, okay, he won like in 2001 for Traffic with the Oscars, but yeah. Even then, yeah, even at the Critics' Choice, his last recognition was acting ensemble for Sin City, which is 20 years ago. But he's been doing good stuff since. So, yes. Del Toro, please. Please.
Yeah, it's Del Toro.
Okay. Actress. We've got Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, Chase Infinity for One Bad After Another, Renata Renza for Sentimental Value, Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee, and Emma Stone for Begonia. So, again, like we were just talking about, if you look at the critic stuff we've seen up to this point, Rose Byrne has a lot of love behind her.
Yep.
While Jessie Buckley's been the one that's been kind of pegged throughout the season to be the when we get to this point, she'll probably take over.
Sure.
She's got quite a few going on with her critic wins also. Like her and Byrne are probably pretty much right there together. Um, I'm gonna say Buckley,
Okay.
but here at this particular ceremony again, Rose Byrne wouldn't be surprising.
Not to show my hand for next week, but I'm more inclined to go with Chase Infinity for the general critics before I feel the Globes may edge it to Rose. Admittedly, that's, where you've obviously got a split category anyway. Although I think they would be in the same category because of the way the Globes have worked it round, so I think so. On this one, I'm going with Chase because I think the online generic critics will lean towards that one rather than Burn.
This was another award that I didn't really need to think about at all. All the everybody, the internet discourse saying that Jessie Buckley might as well just get the Oscar right now, and that could very well be true. But this is the critics, and when it comes to a performance like this, it feels like this makes sense to go this route. And AJ already alluded to it. Ashley seems to differ, but I'm going to go with Rose Byrne here.
All right, are we ready for no wrong answers? Whoever
Oh,
whoever they pick is perfectly fine.
I can't say anything about Edgerton, but I understand what you mean of everybody else.
I still have yet to see Chalamet or Mora, but hopefully that changes very soon, and I feel the same way, which I feel like is likely.
They 100% both belong here.
But yeah, this is a. God, I love this. I'm just gonna stare at this lineup for a second. I'm not even gonna read it out loud just yet. I'm just staring at it in glory. We got Chalamet, DiCaprio, Edgerton, Hawk, Jordan, and Mora. Um, so I'm saying Chalamet, and I imagine he's probably gonna conquer the season, but uh, DiCaprio has been doing very well, and that's honestly something I even with him as a previous winner, I honestly wouldn't be pissed. I mean, like we were saying, a lot of people have compared the performance to his performance as Rick Dalton, so it'd almost be like, I would have given it to him for that. So if you gave it to him for this, I wouldn't be pissed off at all. Um, much as I love Edgerton and Hawk and Jordan so much, it's like a perfect lineup. But I'm gonna I'm gonna go with this Chalamet thing. Should I Oh, and should I say that thing about Chalamet?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think that I feel comfortable saying this because I think Timothy Chalamet himself would be the first person to acknowledge how much of a whore he has been promoting this movie
Yes.
and how badly he wants that Oscar. But I would like to. I have a theory as to what Chalamet is doing. I don't know. People might have already come to this conclusion, but I don't really listen to other people. Um, but the theory I've had as to why Chalamet has been really pimping this out as hard as he has, like when was the last time somebody campaigned this hard? And we've seen some really shameless campaigns before, from like Melissa Leo to Eddie Redmayne. Like we've seen it pretty extreme, but have we seen a campaign like this before? But here's the thing. I do think it might be for a reason, which is he went up at SAG last year and he was saying he wants to be one of the greats, which I thought was perfectly fine. I don't even know why that was controversial. Like he wants to be great. We were saying like, he could probably be the next DiCaprio. Like that's probably his trajectory. So if you look at that comparison, it's that for a long, long, long time, DiCaprio was the guy that was giving us so many great performances, but everybody just kept saying, "Oh, he's really trying for his Oscar. Oh, he really wants to get his Oscar. Maybe it'll be this time. Oh, he's so upset he doesn't have his Oscar." And I think Chalamet doesn't want to be that guy. I think Chalamet wants to get winning an Oscar out of the way so that he can just be his performances as they are can be focused on for the rest of his career from here. I want to think that's why he's very desperate to do that now. So, and honestly, I'm perfectly okay with that, and it's perfectly understandable that you don't want to be the, oh, he's just trying to get an Oscar guy. If you already get your Oscar as early as you can, then you're not going to be that guy. People won't look at you that way. So I'd be perfectly okay if he's honestly just trying to get the Oscar out of the way. And he's probably about to. So, which is exciting for his career too, which because it'll basically mean he can do whatever the fuck he wants from here on, which will be fun.
How ironic, though, that the guy who's not trying to copy DiCaprio by doing a DiCaprio in that is going to lose to the film where DiCaprio isn't really trying and is just being himself and does just as good a job as when he was trying with the Revenant. So it's like I'm going
His
with
whole
DiCaprio on this one, partly for that irony, um, but also just like as I say, it's refreshing. It's refreshing to see DiCaprio because I feel that everything he's been Oscar nominated for pretty much has been Oscar bait, and weirdly, this feels more like a PTA Oscar bait than a DiCaprio Oscar bait compared to anything else.
the fact that he's literally a protagonist that's too stoned to do anything right.
To some extent, yeah, yeah. If anything, sort of just like anything the Safdie brothers have done, Bob is kind of a guy that you're trying to work out why you like him. He seems that much of a dickhead, but somehow you go for him. But as I say, just in the mannerisms and the way he does, it just feels like DiCaprio isn't sort of scene chewing, as if to say, look at me. Thank God The Revenant happened, because it seems like, well, I say that, even some of the more recent things that DiCaprio's done have felt like this is one that he's obviously trying to get an Oscar nomination for. This one kind of doesn't. As I say, it feels more like Paul Thomas Anderson's Oscar bait than his. Which, it worked for Christopher Nolan, so...
And the great thing though is that it doesn't even feel baity. Like it doesn't like I don't know if out of context I would have ever pegged it as an award sweeping movie.
No.
It would have just been like an awesome movie.
No, it's just it feels like it's the more, whether it's just because of the budget and everything that's behind it, that's proving that PTA can deliver when he's given something akin to a Nolan budget for a project that really doesn't feel like a Nolan. It feels like a PTA picture. It's, where's the fucking budget gone? I'm hoping it wasn't just DiCaprio's salary.
The entire middle section is a whole sort of action scene where DiCaprio is too stoned to be doing anything right and is just trying to charge his phone the whole.
So yeah, Owen, where are you going, and why is it Ethan Hawke?
Well, there's not a wrong answer here. No.
No.
Ethan Hawke really needs to be in this conversation, and I really hope that he ends up in this conversation because he deserves to be there. Wagner Moore is great. Michael B. Jordan's great. And then we've got your actual contenders. It's hard because I feel that it'd just be fun just obviously do the bit here, and since I literally just got out of the movie a couple days ago, finally seeing it, and the performance is great. Like, he's fast talking, he's got to do a little bit of something like all over the place. Decap's basically playing the dude, but doing it so goddamn well it's not even funny. Jeff Bridges would be very proud of that performance.
So are we saying Bob Ferguson is Rick Dalton's performance of the dude?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It's if Rick Dalton even got the dressing gown for it. It makes sense.
Yeah, I love that idea. Actually, that's fantastic. It's hard to go against Chalamet here, though. It really is. I mean, it's down to the wire, literally. I mean, both performances are going to go down in history. They really will. DiCaprio's performance already has, like, literally the costumes and everything from this Halloween season. I saw it at Horror Nights, literally. And it popped me greatly, actually, when it happened. They got extra attention. Chalamet is... I guess this is a good terminology to use right now, and Ashley will understand where I'm going with this, because I feel like it's very topical to say. Chalamet's a generational talent. And once he knocks that Oscar out of the park, he can focus on building the rest of his career. So this will start it. And I think there may be a few strays here and there. And there may be one big surprise that no one's anticipating before the season's over. But, yeah, I will commit to the bit.
All right, depending on where you land, these next two should be pretty easy.
So, Owen, you're saying Adam Sandler impression?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So I'm curious if anybody's gonna have them split picture and director.
Hmm.
'Cause it feels like to me it's either one bad after another and PTA or Sinners and Kugler. And I wouldn't even know where to begin, which would split with who. Um, but it does seem like one bad after another is the one that's like predominantly in the front, but Sinners is like right here.
Mhm.
But I would say for the most part, picture and director. This is a year where picture and director kind of go hand in hand,
Right.
unless anybody disagrees. Uh, but for nominees here for director, we've got PTA, Kugler, Del Toro, Safdie, Trier, and Zhao. Like I said, honestly, despite one bout or another kind of being in the lead, I think this one could go either way with it or Sinners, but I'm gonna stick with PTA personally.
Part of me also wants to consider Safdie in this.
You should.
Because the way I'm looking at it, it's like Kugler gets his flowers for original, PTA gets his flowers for adapted. So could Safdie take director, and then it's whatever between the three of them for getting picture? I'm saying PTA, but I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow try and split it that way, which by default could make it a 3-horse race for picture, which will at least be something.
I believe it is anyway.
Mm.
There's nothing telling me that it's not, especially now. Yeah. I mean, I've been waiting for this season for a long time, and it's finally happening. And I'm very, very excited to say that this is the time that Paul Thomas Anderson is finally going to get a Best Director Oscar. I'm so excited. You have no idea.
I was about to say something just now, but I kind of feel like if I say anything else about one bad after another, I'm gonna jinx him. So I'll keep that to myself till the end of the season.
We'll have an interesting conversation tomorrow when it comes to director, but we'll go there tomorrow.
Tomorrow's a nightmare.
Oh, tomorrow's gonna be fun.
Uh,
let's get a picture and take this home.
Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, J. Kelly, Marty Supreme, one bad after another, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Train Dreams, and Wicked.
Got them too.
Some great stuff in here.
Yeah.
But as I alluded to, I'm going to say this is where one bad after another kind of continues this reign and kind of keeps it up. But if Sinners can knock it down a little bit, this would be a place it would probably happen. But I'm not predicting that.
Ooh. Let me double check. I'll go with one battle after another, but it's a toss-up between that and Sinners. I feel is the way the critic will go.
I wouldn't count out Marty Supreme
No.
at all. I really do think again we got a 3-horse race now, and this is when it's gonna start. But I can't say anything about Train Dreams. I can't say anything about Jay Kelly, but I can say that I tolerate to love everything else in this category. And I feel like I'll really enjoy Jay Kelly if I ever get to see it. It's one battle after another.
we done here?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So we will be back tomorrow for. It's our last time we're predicting the 8, right?
Yes.
Before at some point in January where we do all 24.
And January, the end of January, be all 24.
Yeah. Righty-ho. So, yeah. Same bat time, same bat channel. Pretty
Just
much.
normal time.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, in case you're wondering why the live chat isn't up, we'll let you give your opinions on all that sort of stuff Thursday. With the sort of, the hangout style thing that we'll do then.
I alluded to there being Thursday shows for award season this season, and I'm not gonna lie, I am not missing AEW for anything. So yeah, no Wednesday shows. That's not an option, but Thursday certainly is. All right. So that's your show. We'll be back here tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with our very entertaining Oscar predictions for the final prediction show of 2025. And we'll talk about it on Thursday to bring in literally 2026. We'll be the first show of the new year, 6 p.m. on Thursday night. So enjoy New Year's, whatever you're doing. Definitely better than I am, or probably most people I know. But hey, there's always next year. So that's your show. So Ashley, of course, can be found on X at Ash is my name UK. More content from him coming in the very near future. AJ content will be coming sporadically throughout the rest of the months. New Speaking Bluntly is coming your way in the near future as well, so get ready for that. I think Wicked's going to come out at some point too, so eventually, it's fine. But more AJ content is coming, so don't worry about that. I literally have a plethora of videos that are going up on the channel daily. So if you're following along with the voices content, or I'm going to get back to sipping snacks in the next few days. So that's going to be your content. So coming your way. Follow me on X if you'd like at Sir Owen Disney. And that's going to be your show. Thanks everyone for joining us. And we will hear from you on Thursday. But hopefully you'll join us tomorrow at 6 p.m. when we have a really fun Oscar discussion. So that being said, always have the best day ever. 'Tis the season after all. Stream any minute now by Water Parks. Watch the End of the Eras Tour documentary on Disney Plus. Yes, I'm only promoting Disney Plus because of Taylor Swift. And in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Until tomorrow, boys and girls. That's all we got to say about that.